Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast, 2 years special, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Is crazy. Is incredible. Uh, thank you very much for getting us this far. Of course, if you don't know by now, uh, my name is Kael and I am incredibly influential.
And I am highly successful. This time it's not Maxwell. It's me, the
Yeah,
old one, the
we we're
original.
we're kicking it old school. We're doing it. We're doing it. Do you know why? Do you know why we're kicking it old school, Danny? Do you know why?
Well, I can tell them what you told me why, but I'm not sure if that's the same
Uh,
reason as what you're gonna say.
I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm on some shit right now.
Cause
Okay.
cause the real reason is that.
Shush. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So we're just not gonna say the real reason.
We're not gonna say the real reason. We're not
All
gonna worry
right,
about it. It's okay.
I
It's
suppose.
okay. It's okay.
You see, nobody's gonna understand what's going on right now.
No, everybody's gonna understand. It's okay.
Uh
We're
huh.
all we're all good in the hood, you know? Everybody gets it. We're all chilling, we're all vibing, okay? Everything's going to be okay. Every little thing is going to be all right, okay? We're channeling Bob Marley here. I'm literally just saying nonsense. Anywho, uh Danny's back 2 years, 2 years, 2 years ago. Today is April 22nd. This episode's coming out literally tomorrow, but um it's closer to the 26th than next week's episode is, so you're getting the year-end special here. Here you go. Merry fucking Christmas. Um but yeah, we're here. We're happy to be here. I'm I'm genuinely so surprised that this experiment, I guess for lack of a better term, has gone on this long, right? 2 years. 2 years. And here we are, you know? Isn't that wild?
It's very, very wild. Man, who just rang my doorbell? Okay,
It was me.
let me check the security cameras. I only have one security camera now, though, because I forgot to change the battery to the other two. I'll work on it later, though.
What would you do if it was me?
Um, hmm.
Answer the question.
I'm so
The truth,
curious who it is.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Wait, wait, wait. Let me.
Yeah.
Oh, Ariadna's here. I gotta go
Guys,
to
I
the
don't think this
computer.
is very interesting. I'm so sorry. Danny,
I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. Apparently, I have a guest, so this is absolutely bad timing on their part.
it is very bad timing on their part.
You know, ah, that's crazy. What were you saying though? I completely was not paying attention after like a
I,
second or
w-
two.
I was expressing my gratitude and my disbelief that this show has gone on for as long as it has. 102 episodes, 2 years, 102 sort of weekly episodes, right? There's been a bunch of other bonus ones too. Man, it's wild. Is this not the wildest thing in the world to you that we've made this thing that has lasted so long?
It is. It is something. It is something.
Yeah,
I
I'm.
I don't really know what to say, to be honest with you. I remember it was real nice to come over here, hang out with the bud. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hanging out with you prior to your streaming career was a lot easier because after you started streaming and doing everything like that, every time that I talked to you, I feel like it had to be for something. You couldn't just say hi to me, man. Just say howdy.
I'm rich.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
rich because of this.
Over
Grind
time,
set.
after
Sigma
a
male grind set.
while, I feel like you got a tiny bit better with that, and now I can say hi to you and all that, and it not have to be recorded like 24/7. But at first, this was like the only way I could actually have a conversation with you.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of grind set, baby. You know all about that grind set.
I I suppose. I
No,
suppose.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't know the grind set if it bit you right on the fucking cock.
You
Um,
know, I am probably way more poor than Nick. Well, I certainly am way more poor than Nick, but
yeah,
I have worked a lot more than Nick in terms of like actual hours put into an hourly job type of
in
deal
maybe
probably.
in like a 9 to 5 setting. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
for
feel like I've also made more money from the work that I've done than you have. You just got like in like the character creation menu, you just added a whole bunch of money before you got created.
yeah,
I didn't have that option, I guess. So we spawned in broke point. We've just been going up ever since.
yeah. Sucks to suck.
It does
Um,
suck to suck, man. I
you're the expert. You're the expert. Hey, you know what we should talk about? You know what we should talk about?
What's up?
So you were there for part of this, but I wanted to do this on the podcast. I'm so mad that fucking Maxwell was fucking busy. I'm so mad about that.
Well,
But
what happened with that? You know what I mean? Like he was busy, and then he said that he was gonna be here, and then I show up and he's not here.
no, no, he was busy on 420. So on Saturday, 420, 2024, it's palindrome. We'll never see another one of those, palindrome ones in our lifetimes, right?
Speak
So
for yourself, man.
until maybe like 2042, but even then that's not like legit 420 2024 forwards and backwards, right? Like that's nothing, right? So I was like, you know what? I have legally obtained marijuana. I'm 21 years old and I live in a state where it is recreationally legal. I want to preface that I committed no crimes, but I imbibed a substance and I wanted to do it on the podcast. I thought that would have been hilarious. But Maxwell was too busy and never answered my fucking voicemails uh,
I could just
earlier that day.
imagine how sad it would be if you ever decided to do a podcast and there just wasn't a highly successful.
I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
I feel like it'd be funny for like one episode, but I feel like it'd be very very sad because every time you would say something, there'd be nobody to respond.
I think if I say now on what is it, April 22nd, soon to be April 23rd, um, that that's my plan for April Fools next year. Do you think I could upload that an episode where like I had somebody on but I muted them, like I didn't include their audio, so it was just me? Do you think I could upload that
Oh, so
for like an hour?
you're trying to say like it's like a thing where like you do have somebody and they're talking to you, but nobody can hear them but you. So it's like a
Yeah.
voice in your head.
Yeah, and I'll upload that for like an hour.
I I feel like that would actually be even funnier because then there would be like the pauses where somebody you think somebody's talking and then you're gonna be like, oh, that's like what a good thing to say. Like after like 30 seconds of silence, you're like, oh man, that's a good point.
Yeah, I like
That
that.
that is a funny idea.
See, I'm hilarious. This show would be fine without somebody else. Okay, it'd be hilarious.
Did you ever
But
see, because I feel like, because of the name of this episode, did you ever see I
Unis
can't
Anus,
remember
no, not at all.
the Unis Honest, like it was one of the reunion episodes. Because I'm not sure if you know this, right? But they have once a year they'll usually put like a short little video on both of their YouTube channels, kind of in like memorial to like the Unis Honest, right?
Yeah,
And there's one year where they did it to where it was only Mark's audio, and him having a conversation with Ethan, and on Ethan's version, it was only his audio, so you had to play both videos at the same time in order to get the full conversation.
I don't know who Ethan is in this
That's
context.
Ethan is the person that he did Unis Honest with.
Unus Anus.
Yeah, it was Mark and Ethan. Those were the two people that did Unis Honest together. But like it's kind of similar to that, where it's like it's only going to be your perspective, but there won't be another perspective like there like there is with them.
I mean, that's the only perspective that matters. Let's be real here.
Uh, mm, yeah, but it just kind of reminded me of that kind of idea, because this is Unis Honors related and that's Unis Honors related. It's all lining up
Guys,
in my head.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's pronounced Unus Anus.
Uh,
Am I wrong?
no, it's Latin, so it's actually honest.
No, it's anus. It's anus. Don't worry about it.
That's
don't.
Latin. Trust me, man.
You are Latin and a lot of delusional talk right now. How about that? Let's try and keep it sane here. Have you been watching that Fallout TV show?
I, have not gotten around to it yet. What I'm gonna probably do is get together with my brother and all of them and try to watch it with them. So while we're trying to figure out what day we're gonna all do that, we've just been holding off on it. My brother and his girlfriend usually watch things together, so it takes them a lot longer to finish shows.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
probably just
hate
gonna
that.
jump on Fallout whenever they jump on Fallout. That
I
way we can all
I have
experience it together.
so I've already watched the first few episodes. This is actually like sort of a repeat of me and Maxwell's conversation because Maxwell fucking binged it. Maxwell binged it 100% before I even started. Just because, it's like a couple weeks before finals for
I've
me,
heard
so
it's
I'm just very
really
busy.
good, and I've
It
been
is.
binging other shows, but I have not been binging Fallout.
So people are giving it like 9.5s and 9s and 8s and 10s and shit. I don't think it's that good, personally.
Well, you don't
You know,
like
But
you don't have good opinions though.
I have great opinions. I think it is like a 7 or 7.5 maybe. The
Okay,
opening
well,
scene was
how
very
about
good.
you just give me a baseline for what a 10 is, and then we can.
A 10 in a TV show.
Yeah,
Uh,
some, something has to be
Daredevil
10.
season 1 or season
Daredevil
3.
season 1 or season 3.
Yeah,
I
those are
mean,
perfect TV.
I wish that I knew either of those, but I don't.
They're on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I just
Didn't you watch Echo?
I who? What? What are you
Or
talking
didn't you watch Hawkeye?
about? Yes, I did watch Hawkeye.
Daredevil was required viewing for Hawkeye. You're not allowed to not watch it.
Well, actually, every single TV show that's ever been on Netflix, I just decided to skip.
You shouldn't have. You missed out on, yeah, any of the Marvel Netflix shows. Like let's say Loki, right? Loki season 2, I would say, is probably better than season 1.
I'm still have to watch
Um,
season 2 one day.
season 2, very good. Um, doesn't hold a fucking candle to Daredevil season 1 and season 3. Season 2 is also, I'm a season 2 defender, but defender like defenders like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke
I,
Cage, and Iron Fist. Ha,
I
get
don't
it?
know, man. I feel like I've
Um,
just really been into like sitcoms recently. That's kind of where I'm at.
so have I, dude. I've been rewatching Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. It's so good.
Sitcoms or like
Mr. Mosby is an all time like best fictional character. Like he's in the running. Wouldn't you agree?
I would say so, I feel like that one clip is like the iconic clip. It was a
The
driving
Amorphum.
episode. Yeah.
The Amorphum. Yeah, I got to that episode. Nobody ever remembers the A plot to that episode. That was actually the B plot, the driving thing. But yeah, the Prendle, the Amorphum. But like that sort of gets close to why Mr. Mosby's so good. But like his relationship with London, and with the boys is just, oh my god. that's like the most important relationship in the show is like Mr. Mosby as their like surrogate father. It's so good. He Phil Lewis, man. What an absolute king.
I think I watched. I see things. I went back and I think I watched some of the Zach and Cody
Hmm.
back whenever like I was first just kind of getting into like the Disney Plus thing. I was like, oh man, like they have every show on here. Let me just watch like a
Yeah,
season
they
of Zach
have
and Cody,
everything. I think
right?
they have every single decom on there too.
Right.
Every single
And
one.
now whenever I go on Disney Plus, I mostly just watch the movies. I don't really watch the Disney Channel shows too much. But
Yeah,
there
I
are a
mean,
lot of
I
good
don't think
ones.
most of them have held up, but I will say, I was inspired to do this. Like I had already been rewatching it. I kind of started rewatching it in high school when Disney Plus first came out. I would like, obviously, it was keeping up with the Mandalorian because it was brand new hotness, that sort of thing. But on the hours in which like on the days and the like lunch breaks in the study halls in which I didn't have a new Mandalorian episode to watch, I would watch I would go watch Sweet Life. It's a good show. It holds up. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, like recently I finished watching what was it? I just finished watching. It's actually crazy how it was like a week ago and I can't remember what I was watching.
bro, that's legit.
That's
I mean,
actually
you've had a big
terrible.
week. I don't know if you want to talk about what happened this week, but you can if you want.
Oh, that was actually like more like 2 weeks ago. I just kind of, wasn't telling everybody right away.
Fair enough.
Uh, but it's gonna bother me if I can't think of this show. I need to let me figure this out.
The show is more important. The show is more important. I,
No,
I
it's
love.
it's gonna bother me if I don't figure out what show I was watching.
Take your fucking time, bro. Take your fucking time.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what I was
Oh
watching. I
yeah,
remember.
we
Yeah,
were
that
watching that together.
I see. I can't like the thing is, I watched it for like a full month, and then the second I'm done with it, I forgot it existed.
Genuinely, genuinely.
Yeah, I was watching that one, and then my sister turned me on to the one I'm watching right now, which is New Girl. Which New Girl's it's pretty funny.
They
It
did
has
a
its funny moments.
crossover.
They did have a crossover. That's kind of like what inspired. Like, kind of was like a part of the idea of why I wanted to do it as well because they had the crossover.
I only like
Um,
one character in New Girl, but I love him.
which one?
Winston, my boy.
Winston's
Lamorne
pretty.
Morris is a fucking great actor. Oh
I.
my god, wait. This is my ideal like fan casting, right?
Mhm.
Like Phil Lewis as Lamorne Morris's dad. And like he has to like put up with Lamorne Morris's antics. Like maybe that's like Mr. Mosby's like long lost son or whatever. Holy shit, that would be really good. Or if they yeah, oh my god, that would be crazy. But like what sucks is like they're never going to do a reunion special for Sweet Life like they are with Wizards of Waverly Place because uh like the Sprouse Bros fucking hate Disney Channel. So it's like that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I can kind of get why though. A lot of people hate like the networks that they used to be on for some reason or other.
I mean, I'm just hoping that it wasn't like a Dan Schneider situation. I'm hoping that Disney treated their actors better
Well, I'm
than that.
surprised that like the iCarly, the new iCarly show ended up happening, and that like as many people came back as they did, just because it sounded like it wasn't that good for a lot of them. I don't know if it was just Jeanette McCurdy who kind of was affected by it. I'm assuming that they were all affected by it. I just Jeanette McCurdy's the only one that actually, I guess,
I
said
mean, if
anything
you
about
if
it.
you read the book, you can kind of see more that it wasn't just Dan Schneider being a fucking creep. I mean, that was a big part of it, but like there was a lot of it where it was more personal with her.
Well, yeah, because it was
I
also her
recommend the
mother
book. The
too,
book's
right?
great. Yeah.
I've walked past the book in the bookstore, and I've been reading a lot of fiction books, so I feel like a nonfiction book would be a nice kind
Yeah.
of.
Actually, you know what? You know what? You remember when you used to ask me if I could let you do like a recommendation section on this show?
I do. I did remember that. That was not a. It's not a bad idea. Still, you know what I mean.
Um, I will let you. Uh, I will let you plug a fiction book. You have. I'll give you 2 minutes to plug a fiction book right now that you recommend.
Oh
2 minutes
my.
starting now.
The problem with that idea is that I read a lot of sad books, but I finished reading They Both Die at the End. That was a good book. Um, it's about like two people who both figure out they're gonna die, and they don't have any friends or family, so they connect through like this app and have like a cool last day together. And then of course, um, as the title suggests, they end up dying. But that's not really a spoiler because it's on the title. Um, but yeah, that one's a good book. Besides, like the thing is, I've only read like 9 books, and some of them are kind of misses. So
You've
I
only
need
read 9 books total?
no since January. I've I started in January, and then obviously I took a big break all of March.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just finished my very first book. No, I've actually finished 2 books since coming back to work because I mostly read at work. I
Do you
finished.
read while you're driving the forklift? So you just crash into shit?
No, I don't work at that job anymore. I work at a different job now. That
He's
job,
going through jobs like fucking uh God,
every
I
job
gotta come up
offers
with a different insult.
every job kind of offers a little bit something different, and a lot of the jobs end up after a while not being what I need at the time. I was at Amazon originally, and then they didn't have enough hours, so I left, and then I became a tutor, and then the tutoring job was seasonal, so I had to leave that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was did fireworks stand, which was also seasonal, so I had to leave that.
Oh, are you going back to that? Are you going back to that this year?
Um, Considering that I would have to get the time off of work in order to do the fireworks stand, I'd have to save up a lot of time, and I don't know if it's worth the amount of time I would have to save
Oh,
up.
and you used to, yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Also, I didn't make as much money as I would like to. I probably would have made more money if I just stayed at the job I'm at now.
That's true, but it was a fun experience, right? You
It
know, you
was
had
a
to
fun
like.
experience. I could say I did it, and who knows? One day, if like somebody wants to do a fireworks stand, I'd be down to do it again. I just can't be. I just can't, leave my job that I have right now, right?
What if you could like do the work to where it was like instead of you like actually working the stand? Remember how like we used to record the podcast there, and you had to like stay overnight, and you just like slept there? What if they were just paying you to like watch it overnight, and you could still work the same hours that you worked at your normal job?
S- I'm a little worried about that idea as well because it kind of does put me in a position where I have to rely on other people in order to be able to leave the fireworks stand because I can't leave it unless somebody's there, right? Which means that if they wake up a little early, I end up being late to work, right?
Yeah.
But I guess I wouldn't. It wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. The thing is, I wake up and I get ready for work at 6 a.m. So it'd be a really early day for them.
Ooh, I was thinking that it would be more like you do the work at your job in the afternoon, and then like come home at like 5, maybe go eat dinner, maybe not, and then go do your job at the fireworks stand, and then sleep overnight, and then like you would have time in the morning to like go home, shower, get changed, do
So
some of that shit, and
did I
then
ever tell you kind of like the situation I had at the fireworks stand, like how that was set up?
I think I remembered you actually had like actual shifts of work where you like sold them.
Well, like we would sell them, or we would be open to sell them
Yes.
from day beginning to day end, right?
Yes.
And we were there for a week and a half because people some people buy it early, but most people obviously wait till last minute. So we
I
got a
remember that being a much larger gig. I remember you were recording like 4 podcast episodes there. I thought you were doing that for like 4 weeks.
it might have been 2 full weeks instead of a week and a half, but it was definitely not more than 2 weeks, I don't think.
That it felt like longer to me. It felt like so much longer to me. I don't know what happened there.
It felt like a long time to me too, but pretty much I would uh wake up in the morning. I'd be there for maybe like an hour, 2 hours, right?
Mm.
And then I remember somebody would come over to the stand, right? And at that time, during the first couple of days, whenever we didn't need two of us there, we could just do it with one of us. I would go home, I'd shower, I'd have my little couple hours to myself, and then I'd pretty much come back and I'd be there all day long. So I didn't go home for that long. I only went home for like 4 or 5 hours, maybe every day. And then I was at the fireworks stand the entire rest of the time, either sleeping or working. It like I let me tell you, it was real nice though, because we would just sit on our Switch and just chill, waiting for people to come for the first like for most of the days until up until like the final couple.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like a nice gig, but if they're not paying you well enough, then obviously don't fucking do it.
Well,
But
it's a
like,
commission-based job, and the market was really, really bad that year. It was like people just weren't willing to buy. Uh,
yeah. I
maybe
mean, it was 2022, and like,
maybe if
yeah,
the economy just kind of turns itself around and more people are willing to throw their disposable income at fireworks, maybe it would be a good idea. But if it turns out the same way it did last time, it just wouldn't be profitable enough for me.
I think 4th of July 2023 was about when people really got back into it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's when people really were like, yeah, this is yeah, 4th of July, fuck yeah, woo. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but kind of what I was saying a minute ago, right? So that was seasonal, so that ended, and then I was
Hmm.
working at the other warehouse, the one that you're talking
Hmm.
about, where I was like doing the forklift and all that.
Hmm.
That warehouse was real nice, but that warehouse kind of had the opposite problem that Amazon did, where instead of not getting enough hours, I got way too many hours.
Hmm.
And because I wanted to go back to school that fall, and what's it called? I want to go to school in the fall. I left that. Plus, that's whenever I went on my big vacation. I left
Oh
like in
yeah, you did.
July. I went on my big vacation in August. I took a couple classes in the fall, and then I started working at Amazon again in December. But this Amazon's like a full-time Amazon, so it's like the perfect amount of hours. A nice
Yep.
guaranteed 40 every week. They offer tons of time off, so I could ditch and I could just go home whenever I want to, obviously without pay, but hey, like you some days it's better to just be at home,
Yeah,
in
I
my opinion,
agree,
you
dude.
know?
I have been. So last semester, I sort of figured out that you don't really need to go to classes if they post the lectures online. I
No,
have been
but
taking full advantage of that.
no you don't. I think that for me, I had a class that was like that, and I kind of went in person for like the first half of the semester, and then I kind of just
Hmm.
never went in person again after a while because I was like, I don't really need to go in person.
Now I've had a few classes that are sort of better for like going in person.
I would say there's a lot of classes. Well, I would say most of the time it's better to go in person in case you have like a question.
Yeah,
But unless like you have a question, you don't really need to.
yeah. It's so in the classes I'm in right now, there's one that's fully online anyway. There's one that I don't go to anymore that all the coursework is online, and I think it is fully online for the rest of the semester anyway, because I think the professor had to go back to their home country. Um, so yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. And then But even before then, I wasn't showing up because all the coursework was online. And then I have two classes that I could ditch, but there's like one has in class participation, which I already got all the points for. Um, so I've
Mhm.
only ever missed one day in that class, and then there was another class that is all the coursework is online except for the exams. But I like the professor, and it's in my field that I want to continue on in. So if I want to make a good first impression, I can't like ditch that class.
Yeah, cause I think that from now on, what I want to do is, whenever I start going to classes again in the fall, is I want to be a lot more involved and like actually like
Yes,
maybe like talking to the professors and all that, because I know that that's gonna be like a big part of like moving forward is like maybe having like professors that I'm close with that can kind of help me out with things, you
very
know.
important. Very important, everyone.
Now
That
I've
is
been
very
going to
important.
like my community college, right? And my community college, I haven't really been worrying about that because I'm like, oh, it's just community college. But now that I'm going to like an actual university, I want to kind of take it full advantage of that, you know?
100%. Even though you're not going on for like a PhD and you're not going into research or anything.
Well, not
Um,
right now, but like let's say if I ever did want to, it's still better to have those contacts, right? Have those connections.
yeah. Well, they still need to write you letters of recommendation.
That as well, you know, but like, you know, like I said, like we just get to know them. Maybe they'll be able to help me out with like career questions. Maybe it'll be able to help me out with questions I have about other classes that maybe they don't teach, maybe they do teach, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Usually like you know, if it's like the engineering field, you know, one professor might be able to answer questions about another professor or might be able to answer questions about different subjects even though they don't technically teach it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to just, you know, have people that way you can come back to later, right? So if you're a good student, usually that they'll probably help you.
Usually,
Usually.
that's another thing is, if you are trying to get like letters of recommendation, be a good student in those classes and get to know your professor, right? So like right now I'm getting into a research lab with. Oh, I have one more class, by the way. I have one more class. Attendance is mandatory, so I have to go. So I do go to that one. um and I've never missed a day. um but like definitely this is some good school advice, everyone. Make sure you are yeah, like make sure you are a good student in those classes and that you are like talking, maybe going to office hours, even if you're just like going there to like just like ask a question and then just like ask them questions about themselves. As long as you're like people. All right, here's a pro tip, right? From a psych major, people love to talk about themselves. So like just ask them questions about themselves. Be like, so what was your grad school process like? What was your advisor? What was your dissertation on? Holy shit, they will fucking love you. you know and they're more
Ye-
likely to write you a letter of recommendation if you go and you talk to them and you put in the work. So
Yeah, because let me tell you, I kind of had like a little bit of a banter going on with one of my professors. It was like a class that only had like four people show up because it was
I
like
love that.
an 8 p.m. class. Only like four people would ever show up, and I was one of them. So like there'd be like points in like the little lecture time where he would just stop and be like, "How's everybody doing today?" And everybody's just talking. We all just chat, right? Most of us are pretty quiet though, so he's mostly the one kind of talking and leading the conversation. So I'm just there listening to him, and he's just going on about uh whenever he was in college or whenever he was in high school or whenever he was on this team or that team, sports, his children, his nephew, and I'm just chilling, man, you know. But hey, I'm here, I guess. I'm along for the ride.
Hmm. um yeah. Again, especially if you do get a good banter going with the professors in class, it's really nice because they'll remember you. You're being engaged, with the material. You're talking with the professor. That they can get a good rapport with you. They will write you a good letter of recommendation.
What
you know
helped me start that banter, because I'm not usually like a conversation starter, right? Is I just brought like a really a really like a backpack that I guess that was a good conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And then I was like, "Oh, I got it from Disneyland." And then he was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." And then we just started talking.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
think
that's a cheat code as well. You could just bring conversation starters
yes. I
around
think
you.
the biggest thing you can think of, right, before we go to the ad break, and we do have to go to the ad break. I know, so sad. But I would say the biggest thing to keep in mind is professors want to fucking be cool and be liked by their students, right? Like, if you make them feel like they're fucking cool and like still hip and stuff like that, right? And like still interesting to their students, man, they will fucking love you. They will fucking love you. It's a core human need to want to be cool and be interesting, right? So if you make them feel that way, don't lie to them, but if they do have something that's like legit interesting, talk to them about it. They will love to know that their lives are interesting, and they will just love to tell you about it. It's awesome. Genuinely some of the best people in your life that you can ever meet are your professors here at college, you know? So take advantage of that. But we're going to the ad break. Goodbye. Love you. Goodbye. This episode is sponsored by Liquid IV, the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. We've been partnering with them all summer, and I've been using it to beat the heat through some of these particularly nasty heat waves. While it was scorching hot outside, I was staying cool and refreshed with Liquid IV and their 12 delicious flavors.
One stick of liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you twice as fast and far more efficiently than water alone, and it also contains 5 essential vitamins and 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks, without any GMOs, gluten, dairy, or soy. Liquid IV is also committed to equitable access to clean water worldwide, partnering with leading organizations to fund and foster innovative solutions with communities that protect both their water and their futures, and donating 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world.
Real people, real flavor, real hydrating. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code IIHS all one word, at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code IIHS again, all one word, at liquidiv.com. Thank you again to Liquid IV for partnering with us. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no-nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AmandaRedwine.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to circle back to something that I feel like we talked about a little bit, but I don't think we talked about it enough. I got fucking blazed out on Saturday. Like, I don't know how much you caught of this, but I got absolutely fucking trashed.
Well, I think I caught like towards the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think I
Cause
took
like it was actually like so random, right? I had just got on my Xbox for about 2 minutes, just to see what was going on, right?
you did.
I held the like my Xbox button, ready to turn off my Xbox, as on the frame that he sends me to the invite, and I'm accidentally in his party, and I can't leave at that point, so I just stick around for a
It
while.
was awesome. So we'll back up a little bit. So how it starts is, and you can actually watch both of the VODs. I just put them out on my Patreon, not the podcast Patreon, but my personal Patreon. Um, I might link it in the description if I remember to. If not, patreon.com/ktogston. It's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. It's free. I just didn't want it to go on YouTube and like fuck up the algorithm because it's like 3 hours long, and it's all about weed and stuff. So I didn't want to like fuck up the algorithm and shit like that. So I just put it on my Patreon, but it's free for everyone to go and watch it. So go and watch it. But how it started was I wanted to do it with Max. I wanted to do it on the podcast, right? But you know, it's 420, 2024. I have some edibles that I wanted to try. Because I don't really have anything to smoke out of. Like I have smokable weed, but I just don't really have anything to smoke out of. So I was like, fuck it, I've got edibles, you know. I've never been high before. I wanted to do it with Maxwell because Maxwell is a bit of a stoner himself, but he was not there, sadly.
He's a bit of a stoner himself. This is news to me.
Could you not tell from how he talks?
I thought he was just like a chill type of guy, you know. I feel like, you know, I guess that kind of is like the description of like casual weed smokers, but like you
I
never
don't
know.
think he's like Shaggy or like Cheech and Chong, right? But homie smokes. He smokes. But
Alright.
he was busy, so we couldn't do it on the podcast. So I said, fuck it, next best thing. What is green and does like a cloud? Maya's cloud kill ability in Borderlands 2. So I booted up Borderlands 2.
Wait,
uh,
that was the inspiration?
Dude, I couldn't think of a better game to play while high, but then I was like, oh wait, if I play Maya, cloud kill. I don't think I got to a high enough level to use it though.
Cloud kill is so far down the tree.
I know, but I got a
You
fourth
just-
try Hornet. So that's gotta count for something.
It's just such a like not well thought out idea.
But I used the Hornet, and that was like clouds of green stuff. So it's corrosion, and you know, I don't know.
You're
that
really stretching it here.
But I took my edible on stream.
You should have
my
just played
first
GTA
one.
5 and just done weed deliveries.
The only reason I was streaming on my fucking console was because I didn't want to re-download Borderlands 3, which would have taken me about 20 minutes.
So what's wrong with 20 minutes?
I didn't want to wait. I wanted
guess.
to be productive. So that's the hilarious part is, oh, I wanted to be productive before okay. So I ate one edible for like an hour. I think you joined in at around the end of about hour 1, maybe a little bit later. I was not feeling it at all. Did I sound mostly normal when you joined?
You always kind of sound like you're on something, even when you're not, you know?
Fuck you. But yeah, so he joined in. I invited him to the party because I wanted to have like a normal person who like knows me when I'm sober to be like, this is a bit much. Would you say towards the end that I was getting a little
You were just kind of spouting nonsense towards the end. I remember because like I was sitting here planning on just watching my show, checking the game, and then I ended up actually playing the game for a little bit because he wanted to talk. And then I'm just listening to this man just go on tangent after tangent, just
I
getting
forget
more
how
and
long you
more.
were there for.
He just keeps going on more and more and more nonsense. And
I
after
don't
a
remember
while-
half of what was going on. I don't remember what I was thinking, but I remember my thoughts were racing so fast. Like,
and I'm over here, you know, I'm pretty quiet. I'm just kind of doing my thing, focusing on my game, chilling. And every now and then he just talks and he's like, "Why aren't you saying anything?" And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you just don't. You're not breathing. Like, what do you want me to do?"
so, it was so funny. So I took one. He joined in relatively. Like I feel like it was about an hour in. I was not feeling anything. So I was talking with him for like 20-ish minutes, I would say. I don't know. I don't remember any of this. Like, I barely remember fucking any of this, right? I fucking, I had 3 edibles. I took all of them. I took another 2 at once, about an hour and change in. Oh my God. It was crazy. I So the reason why I was going on so many tangents is because my brain was moving faster than my mouth could say these thoughts. You thought I was talking fast. You should have been in my brain. It was insane. Like it was thought after thought after thought after thought after thought, and I kept trying to like say them, and they would like mix together and shit like that. It was crazy.
You see, I've been infected by that before, and I don't smoke, so I can't imagine how bad it would be for me if I did. You know, because
Yeah.
my head already does that, where I'm think faster than I can speak.
No, 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 no. You think that it's bad like that. No, you have no idea. I imagine it might have been scary. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I was that scared, but I was like, holy shit, I'm high.
I don't know, man. I've stumbled over my words, you know, and you know, especially like if I'm typing something or if I'm saying something, I'll
Mhm.
lose my train of thought because I'll go on to another idea so quick that I'll forget my previous idea.
Uh yeah, but that's like no, like I literally could not even say the thoughts I was having because they were going so fast. Like they couldn't even leave my lips. Trust me, dude. It's worse than you can imagine. There's no way to describe it with words. You just got to do it. But I have never felt so drunk. That's what I compare it to being blackout drunk. Because I
I
did blackout. I lost a lot of that, right? Like I don't remember. I sort of remember. Um, the part when I blacked out was I took the parts back to Ellie, the car parts back to Ellie to build the Bandit Technical. Apparently, I had driven it all the way back and killed Badmaw and gotten into the Bloodshot Dam just on my own, blacked out, right? Before I was like, okay, I need to end the stream. I remember ending the stream, but like, holy shit, I was gone. I was on another planet. I remember I was farming Deepas. I farmed Deepas. Uh, right? You were there for that.
yeah, the divas.
I told you I was farming Deepas. I got a fourth try Hornet. This is before I was high, but I got a fourth try Hornet, and that was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, holy shit, I greened the fuck out, man. Like, and then when I got up from my chair and like walked upstairs, I was super dizzy. Um, like I just about stumbled in my bed, and then literally for like almost 24 hours after the first edible was like I finally felt not high. I slept most of Sunday, and I felt so fucking high.
I
It was crazy. I was so fucked up, man.
yeah.
Oh my god.
See, I I'm just actually just zoning out right now.
Because you can't relate. Because you can't relate. Because you've never fucking smoked weed before. And, you know, I don't know. Honestly, low key, I think it was kind of a one and done experience for me. I don't feel like I need to touch it again. You know? But it was fun. It was fun. And I'm glad I have video of it. You know? But, yeah, it was. It's not something I need to re experience. I think I've done it once, and I can say I've done it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was my 420 2024 experience, and you can go and watch it, and it's pretty funny. I think it was very funny. But you had a question. You asked me a question while we were in the ad break. What was it?
I said, how's it going?
Um, it's been going okay. I feel like we can like talk about this, and I feel like we can actually kind of relate. Um, so you and I do you mind if I sort of spill the beans on this?
Oh yeah, I guess. I thought you just want to drop it out.
I mean, it's involved with personal news with me too. So that's yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your mouth?
Uh,
Are you flossing?
I was picking at my teeth.
Okay. Well, all right. You and I are both recently single. Yes. You and Jennifer are Splitsville.
Splitsville population, the sky.
Sorry, us guys, both of us, because I am also recently single. Um. Uh. Yeah. Sorry to all you fans of Jennifer out there. It's yeah,
Yeah,
just
man.
didn't work out. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I guess I could probably go more into that, but where are you going with this?
I was just gonna say, how does it feel to be, you were in a relationship for longer than I've ever had one. Um, weren't you at like 2 years? Because you were
Well,
dating her when we started the podcast.
it's it was a long relationship. My previous one was longer. I've only been in two relationships, and they've both been very long.
Yes.
But with Jennifer, um, I don't know. Like it was a lot of problems, and it was one of those things where I could kind of see it coming from a lot farther away
Yeah.
than with my first relationship. Because my first relationship, I was the one that got broken up with, and I was a little blindsided by it. That one was more communication issues, where I feel like this one was more just I don't feel like we were just agreeing on things. I feel like it was just disagreements more than communication.
Irreconcilable differences,
Yeah,
basically.
because like we communicated a lot, but the communications never really got us anywhere.
That makes
Uh,
sense.
right. So with this one, it was a little bit easier to kind of be like, well, I've tried and I did probably a lot longer than I probably should have, knowing how it ended, right? But
I mean,
it is what
you
it
know,
is. Uh,
I yeah, I would
yeah.
say, for me at least, um, it like the best way to look at it, like it sucks every time it happens, and like it's hard to think of it this way sometimes, I'll admit. But like the best way to think of it, to like not go insane, is that, time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time, right? So like, even though, you and Jennifer probably, I can't see you guys getting married anymore. Um,
Well, I don't know if I ever saw it.
like, even though you weren't in it for like forever, you know, like at least you had the times that you did enjoy, and she treated you pretty damn good. I will say that. You know,
Well, see, and that's the thing, right? Like from an outside perspective, if you didn't know all the things that I know and all the problems that we had, you might be like, "Oh man, why would you break up with Jennifer?" Right?
no, like I
But
get it.
without getting into like the details here, it was definitely one of those things where, after having said my side to several people, like I feel like they understand, they get
No,
it.
I get it, but I mean, I think, just, to be fair for her, she did a lot of things for you. Like she helped you out with a lot of the college stuff. She got you opportunities. She helped you reach out for a lot of things, and I feel like, you know, like you can be bitter about the relationship ending, but I sincerely, I don't think that she ever had like any like malice towards you, and so I don't feel like it's fair to be like,
I
you
think
know.
about it more like this, right? It's um I don't think that she's a bad person, but I just don't think that she like, think about it this way, right? She did bad things. The reason why she did those bad things may not have been because she was a bad person, but she
Hmm.
still did them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, right? So it's like I can't say that she didn't do them,
No.
right? So even if, her reason may be that she was just neglectful of certain things, or that she was not very thoughtful on certain things, it's still a problem.
That's true. I mean, I can't say you were the perfect partner either. You know.
Like if you're drunk driving and you kill somebody versus if you're, looking at your phone and killed somebody, no, either way, you killed somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
One may be a little bit more, like you're not really caring about it, and one may be more neglectful, but same results in the end. So whenever it comes with Jennifer, we had a lot of those type of problems, and you can only say sorry so many times before it kind of loses its meaning after a while.
I mean, yeah, but again, can we not pretend like Jennifer was 100% the villain here? You did a fair share of fuck ups. Let's be real.
No, no, no. I get that, and
Yeah.
I feel like, I may not have been the greatest at times, but I my problems are not the same as the problems that I had with her. Um,
No, and I think Jennifer has a lot of things to work on, like for herself. I think I think that's what I will say is like she's got some interpersonal um conflicts, uh not like, sorry, interpersonal conflicts in her interpersonal life, right? Like her interpersonal skills and like her past experiences have given her some things to work. Maybe she needs to work on that, and I will say that, um and like and those come out during a relationship, and I imagine, and they're very fucking tough, I'm sure, right? um I've had that before as well. um but like, yeah, it sucks, but like, I don't know. I feel like you have been in the anger stage of this relationship, of this like grieving process for the end of this relationship, and you know
well, it's one of those things where, you only see so much from your perspective, right? And I feel like now that everything has kind of happened the way that they've happened, I've had a chance to, I guess, speak to a lot more people about it. And they've kind of given me all their own little quote unquote Jennifer story. And it kind of, and they've reminded me of some things that I've forgotten, from a while ago as well.
mhm.
And it makes me, kind of think like, man, it feels a lot more, it feels so much more obvious, whenever they say it. And I know they're not changing details and all that. They're saying it how it happened, And it's like, wow, I really that she really did that, and I kind of I just didn't do anything about it. And it's more angry at myself than I am at her, right? I feel like I could have seen it from a lot farther away, a lot earlier, right? And
I mean, yeah.
I was a little bit too forgiving, and I was a little bit too hopeful that things would be better, naively so.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think just yeah, I don't know, for me it was, I'll say it was, in my situation it was a little bit more of a blindside type thing. Like I didn't see it coming either, or like as much as like, you kind of did there at the end. Like it did not.
Well, I feel like I tried my best not to blindside Jennifer, and she may say otherwise, right? But I told her many times towards the end of the relationship how tired I was getting of everything.
Oh, I
So
heard it. You said it in
she
front of me.
I'm sure that, well, yeah, exactly. If you heard it, then she probably heard it too, right? I'm sure she knew that things were bad, and I told her many times, I'm like, I'm not gonna put up with this, and she kept doing it, and then yeah, things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my first relationship, I kind of felt like there wasn't a lot of communication, and I was a little blindsided. I didn't want to do that to her, but
Mm-hmm.
even whenever I was communicating with her, it wasn't enough, right? So yeah, I did all I could do.
I mean, yeah. Isn't that the shitty thing though, right? Like, a lot of times you do whatever's in your power and still, shit fucking happens, right? You know, life ain't fair. You know,
Oh yeah, man.
like it isn't fair that you're poor and I'm rich. You know.
It's there's a lot more things that I can be sad about. And
But
I
I
feel
rub it
like
in your face so much, don't I?
I don't know. I feel like the most important thing to me has always been the people that I care about, And
I
I'm
mean,
just
that's true
I'm
for me too. It's just the people that I care about are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln,
you're just completely just
Alexander
undermining
Hamilton,
everything I'm saying.
Ben Franklin. I don't know if
No,
I said
but
him already, but Ben Franklin again.
yeah, but what's it called, right?
Oh, Franklin D. Roosevelt, but only barely.
I'm having a lot of loss and a lot of sadness in my own life surrounding that.
Mm,
If it was a thing where if I was just poor all of a sudden, that'd be sad, but that wouldn't be nearly as we could get over that. But
mm.
unfortunately, I don't get to choose my hardships. Apparently.
No,
They
no.
get chosen
You have to
for
be
me.
poor and ugly.
I First of
Jeez.
all, I'm not that poor, and I'm and I'm and
I
I'm
love
not
that's the one you
ugly,
went after. I love
and I'm
that's the
not
one you went
ugly.
after.
I feel like we,
Uh-huh.
cause,
Uh-huh.
cause there. Well, let me tell you this, Nick. I'm not sure how much. I don't know if I said anything on the podcast before about my recent loss, right? Uh,
Not quite.
not Jennifer, but my family loss, right?
I don't know
But
how much I went into it either. It's kind of a blur.
yeah, but without getting into too many details, there has been another loss in the family as of like a week ago. So
Wait,
it's it,
another loss in the
it
family?
it's not going well for us over here.
Another one?
I will say though
Jesus
that
Christ.
this loss was a little bit more. It was a little bit less unexpected because they kind of had a lot of medical problems. But it's still kind of one of those things where even if you know they have medical problems, it still kind of catches you off guard, right, when it happens.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that recently happened. That's been a little hard for a few of us. I would say I'm not as close to this loss, so it's not as impactful to me personally, but like still the family is not doing good right now.
No, they're not. They're
No, they're
really
not.
not. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. It sucks. It sucks.
It just keeps happening, man. I don't know what's going on over here.
I don't know. My shit's mostly going pretty good.
It was lost one, then lost Jennifer, and then lost two.
I love how lost Jennifer is sort of like doesn't count as a full loss, so it's like lost two would come after. Not that's not lost two. Yeah.
Well, I guess we could give her lost two, but I don't
Well,
know.
she's not
Like,
fucking dead, so it's like yeah.
and it's also one of those things where my feelings about the whole relationship, I feel like kind of I didn't have to deal with them all at once, right? I feel like I kind of dealt with that little by little until the point where I was done with it.
That's true.
That's usually how it is when you're the one that's doing the breaking up, right? That you
Yeah.
kind of have more time to prepare for it.
I mean,
And I'm not gonna say that like it was easy, but it was definitely a lot easier for me than it probably was for her.
yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to go into mine, or do you want to just go to the big red button?
Well, like, is there more to say about yours? Because you said a little bit, but what else you want to say?
Uh, I don't know. My mom listens to this. I don't know if I want her to listen.
Well, your mom likes Jennifer, so she's gonna be really sad.
Yeah, she will. But mom, quit listening now. I'm serious. If I find out that you fucking listen to this, I'm gonna be really pissed. So don't listen past this point. This is for you, Amanda Lee Redwine. Do not listen past this. There you go. Thank you.
Got called out and everything. That's crazy.
Middle name. Middle name. This is serious. But so I guess quick rundown. This was sort of I haven't really talked much about this. I've been trying to wait before I talk about people on the podcast, because this usually happens when I do, is um like right when I talk about someone and I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing someone, I'm kind of happy about it. As soon as that happens, it like ends, you know? So, I'd just gotten out of a relationship on like New Year's Eve, right? Um, so this was still on holiday break. Come back to school. Um, classes start. Sort of feeling around, but not really liking the vibe from anyone all that much. Um, hop on Tinder, meet this girl, get a match. Um, and we started dating around the end of January. So like I'd been sitting on this for a while. Like I'd mentioned her a couple times, but like never really like talked too much about her until very recently. And around then is when the event happened. But um uh so in early March, we took a break because she had never been with a lot of like actual like decent guys before. And so it was kind of throwing her off that I would be like, making time for her, paying for shit. Like she likes to pay for things, but I just wouldn't let her, because I'm a gentleman, chivalry. Um, but then like, literally the day before I got on the plane to come down and see you, I was uh, I called her on the phone because she had posted something on Yik Yak, right? And when we were together, I was very good at figuring out which Yik Yaks were hers because it's anonymous, right? But I could always tell which ones were hers. And I, I messaged her, and I was like, and she said something about wanting me back. And I was like, hey, was that you? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, you should have just told me. So we got back together literally the day before I went down to see you. And then we stayed together up until what was it? It was, I think, pretty early on in April. It's been a while. Um, uh, and there was an infidelity event. I don't want to go too into it to
An
not like,
infidelity event.
yes,
Oh,
on her part, but I don't want to go too into it to like preserve her privacy. But there was an infidelity event,
oh man, I
and
follow her on Instagram too, so this is real awkward. I gotta.
yeah, right. Um, but yeah, and you know, like I'm not too broken up about it, but like I did not see that coming, and like you know, I hate to get too like earnest. I like to have a few levels of like irony and shit on here. I don't like to actually talk about my feelings. Um, but it was kind of rough because like she was the last person I would consider ever doing that to me. You know, and like it from what she tells me, like it wasn't even like thought out or anything. It was just like an event that happened. Like she wasn't in a good space mentally, and just like something happened, and like and that was it. And it was like the longest in person relationship I've ever had. And it was like
How long was it?
from the end of January to early April,
Yeah.
fully in person. Um, and we like yeah, and it just like and it just happened out of nowhere, and she was the last person I expected to do that, and it just sucks that like something so trivial and like meaningless, right, could like happen, and like well, I mean, it wasn't like trivial and meaningless, but like like quick and just like not super like well thought out, but it can like just like ruin your life and like ruin your relationship with someone.
So why did y'all end up, breaking it off the first time? Because it sounds
I
like, you said you got back together, right?
I did say, were you not paying attention?
I must have, glanced over that part.
So,
Me.
she dated a lot of shitty guys in the past, and I was not shitty. I was like there and like like a paid for things and didn't like take advantage of her, um, and like made time for her and all that shit. And she was a little scared by that, so she broke it off. And then
I don't
yeah,
know, man. It sounds like she has some personal problems to
yeah, probably. But
figure
that's
out there.
that's not my place to say anymore because I do not want her in my life anymore. So that's the last I'll say about it is
Yeah,
um
probably for the best, because it sounds like she's wasn't prepared for that type of relationship.
I don't know. I hope that like maybe one day she learns from this. I I feel like it's not, you know, like unreasonable to say that I hope she does feel bad about it from time to time. Like when she like looks
Well,
back on it and she's like, damn, I could have had so much better and I ruined it for myself.
I guess Kale's gonna have to share his money with his best friend instead and come back to
Yeah, let me call up
Texas.
Jacob. Yeah, let me call up Jacob.
God damn it! Why are you like demoting me? I thought I was like a number one. You know
Because
what I
Jacob
mean?
never asks for money.
I didn't say that I was asking for money. I said you would want to give me money on your own
I
choice.
don't want to give anyone money. I wouldn't give you 2 pennies to rub together if it was fucking
Okay,
Antarctica,
okay,
bro.
okay, okay, okay. How about this? How about you don't give me any money? You spend your money on yourself, and you just maybe spend that money to buy yourself a plane ticket, come hang out with me again.
No.
That's fine too. That's fine too. You know, I'll
uh,
I'll go to Illinois one day. One
I
day.
still have to go see Maxwell. That's the real thing. I gotta go see him.
You see, I would love to plan to come see you in summer, but it's not gonna happen just because lots happening in the summer. Maybe maybe I can come see you like around the time of winter.
Maybe. Maybe for
Maybe.
holiday break. I usually have a month off. I don't know.
Or
But,
I could just wait until the following summer. Either way, we'll figure it out.
I mean, we literally waited 10 years to meet each other in person. I feel like we can wait a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, but like I feel like we need to kind of like have like a better meeting next time because it wasn't a
Yeah.
great meeting this time, all circumstances considered.
I don't know. I think the next time it happens is going to be the next time one of us has a personal tragedy. So,
Well, let's not wait that long then.
I mean,
I've already had three personal tragedies. One of them not as big, but.
yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, I don't know. You must consider I'm very lazy.
Uh, that's very true. But you did just kind of no hesitation just show up at my door. So it
I
kind of
mean,
it kind of gave off the appearance that you could be a little less lazy sometimes.
Danny, I don't want to say it bluntly. Can I say it bluntly, please? Please?
I don't know if you should say it bluntly. It's a little
Come on.
bit. It's very sensitive information, and I feel
I
like
mean,
you can't just say that out
it gets the
loud
words
so
out. It gets the word
bluntly.
out.
No, I
Uh,
don't think it's. I don't think we
it gets
like.
the word
We
out. We
gotta
need
we gotta
we need
ease
all
into
the
it, and we don't have time to ease into it right now. So we
we
need
have
to
we
just.
have a lot of time to ease into it because I've been talking about this personal tragedy thing for fucking like a month now. Because that was when I went down to fucking Houston. So I think we can say it now. All right.
But it seems, I don't like saying it. This doesn't sound right. You know what I mean?
I mean, no, it probably wouldn't sound right to you.
There's it's. I'm still kind of dealing with this like a lot.
Don't guilt trip me. Don't
you
guilt trip me
know.
into not saying it, Danny.
And I feel like I just don't like how it sounds. It's just like
Danny,
ah.
you can't guilt trip me into anything, right? I'm so far beyond the human capacity for guilt, or beneath, I guess.
I don't know. You seemed pretty kind and caring and, considerate,
Do you know why I was so kind and caring and considerate, Danny? You know why?
We don't have to
It's
say it.
because.
No, 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 no. You don't have my permission to say it. I feel like you
Come
need my
on.
permission.
Come on. Let me say it. Let me say it. Come on. Come on.
I'm just worried that it's just gonna come off a little too abrupt, a little too kind of like, you
Now that
know.
we've done all this goddamn build up for it, you have to let me say it.
This wasn't supposed to be a build up. This was just me telling you no.
But it's build up. It's build up now. It's build up now.
So what was that Big Bird button question again?
It's because.
I
I'm just saying. I'm gonna say.
well, fine, just say it. I guess.
It's because your mom was murdered. That's why I was so fucking kind and shit. You know, strenuous
Yes.
circumstances.
I suppose I see where you're coming from. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I got sent away for 2 years and you never came up to see me when I got back. So it takes a
Well,
big fucking tragedy.
first of all, when you got sent away for 2 years, I was still in school.
Sucks. So am I.
Also, you didn't tell me anything was happening. Literally, all I messaged you, and your mom messaged me back, said, "Oh man, Kel went to boarding school. He's gonna be gone." And I'm just like, "All right, well that's all the information I'm probably gonna get." You
I
know,
didn't even think I talked to you on the night of the inciting incident.
you didn't talk to me at all. You just disappeared.
No. The night of the inciting incident was a while before. It was like mid-January 2016, and yeah, I don't think I talked to you that night.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I played Xbox that night. It was kind of a blur, to be honest.
Look, Kale. I have not had an easy go of it. Okay, in terms of a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just out here trying to live my best life as
What
much
point are
as
you
I
trying to
can.
make? I feel like we're lost on the point that we're trying to make here.
And I just feel like you're attacking me a little bit,
I'm not attacking you.
tiny bit,
No,
for not.
I'm just saying you said that I was being very extraordinarily kind, and I said, well, you know why? You know? But now we've made it into this big long thing, and I've lost the plot. I've lost the plot. To be
I
quite frank,
think
I've lost the
I
plot.
think you can be kind and you can be cool. And I feel like maybe you could probably try to do it for like a little bit less next time. You know what I mean, right? It doesn't have to. You don't have to wait until something huge like this happens.
Why do I have to come down? It's your turn.
Well, you're the rich one. Like, what are you? What are you talking? Actually, I
Then
believe you.
hitchhike up here,
Wait,
bitch.
wait, wait, wait. If I'm correct, and I may be correct on this, right? Wasn't it not you that said that you would just pay to fly us out there? Well,
I would never say that.
you definitely said something along those lines.
I didn't even pay for that ticket, first of all. My mom did. She paid
Oh,
for
your
everything.
your mom's
So,
real kind, but
yeah.
uh, I know you tried to get us to move up there to Illinois with you, which, to be honest, as nice as that idea is, there's a lot of flaws in it.
So you would pay rent. That was it. I need tenants.
Wait, wait, wait.
Danny,
This deal sounded so much better whenever you were being nicer to me. I feel
I
like
said
now
I
that
would
this
give
is.
you a month to get settled in, but then I wanted rent.
Let me tell you, you sounded a lot nicer off the podcast. I don't know what trying to image you're upholding here.
This is blunt. I'm telling you honestly, that's the deal.
I
Come
don't
up
know.
here, get you could definitely get into Western Illinois University. Western Illinois University. Not a great school.
I'm thinking maybe I just like get one of those like remote jobs, right? And then I just travel the world. That's
Fucking
my
good
plan.
luck with that. Fucking good luck. Bro. Seriously. Good
Yeah,
fucking
it's
luck.
a little far fetched, but hey, I can dream.
That's all it will be. Is a fucking dream. Because fucking I would say the only way that you'd be able to travel the world is via maybe a car. And
Okay, okay.
even
Well,
then,
well, how about this? How about we get a remote job and then we just take like 4 trips a year,
I don't think you could afford 4 trips a year, dude.
2 to 3 trips a year.
I don't think you could afford that.
Okay, well, how about we do like one international trip and then we do one uh just national trip.
Dude, my parents are used to be working in very lucrative careers, and even they couldn't afford 4 trips a year, dude.
How about okay, that's what I'm saying. How about one international trip a year and then one national trip a year just in states.
You already live in fucking Texas. You drive 40 minutes and you're at a beach.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the worst beach in the United States. Not gonna lie to you.
Is Galveston Beach really that bad?
It's a terrible beach. I would not recommend this beach to anyone.
Fair enough. Okay, but you could go to Louisiana. Louisiana has beaches.
I could, I suppose, but I feel like any beach along the Gulf of Mexico probably will have the same issues.
Not really. I've been to a lot of Gulf Coast beaches. So my grandparents used to have a house in what's it called? No, Palm Springs is the one in California. That's my other grandma. Um, what is it? Fort Myers, right? Fort Myers, not a great beach in and of itself. I'd give it like maybe like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. But there's this island that's like not super far away called Sanibel Island. Sanibel Island's fucking awesome. Sanibel Island is like 9 out of 10 beach, right? Um, I will say the only two things against it that I can say are number one, my dad and I were walking along the beach and we saw a fucking sea slug and it was like oozing purple. It was really gross. And my dad threw it back into the ocean. And that was weird. I swear to God, I thought we found a fucking alien life form. But it was just a nudibranch. So basically, yes. And then on the way back, I was racing my dad. And I won, but I kicked a fucking nest of fire ants. And one of them bit me on the pinky toe. So those are my 2 knocks against Sanibel Island Beach.
Okay, I just feel like the beach is not where I'm trying to go. Also, I'm trying to go to places I haven't been before. I feel like that's the whole point of like traveling is not just beach. You know what I mean? There's other things to travel for.
I mean, could have fooled me. I was born less than a mile from a beach, and I could not give a fuck about like literally anything else. Like the only vacation that I've ever been on that I enjoyed that didn't have a beach was I went to Italy, and that was cool.
I want to go to Italy. You know, I was talking to my neighbor the other day.
Actually,
you know,
no. All right, so that's international trips. I've been to a few domestic trips that I thought were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mall of America, but we lived in Wisconsin, so it wasn't that far. And I've done Great Wolf Lodge a couple of times, and those are pretty cool. Those kind of shred ass, right? Those are pretty cool. But like actual vacations, not like visiting family, like actual vacations, I'm going to a goddamn beach. I'm going to a goddamn beach, and there ain't shit you can do about it. Even though I was born next to a beach, I would go back to that beach every single fucking year if I could. I love Virginia Beach so goddamn much. That is, I love it. I love it. There's so much to do around there too, right? Because it's like, it's there, and like it's 2 hours from Washington D.C. It's like an hour from Richmond. You know, you can head south into North Carolina if you hate yourself, or if you want to see my friend Chris. My friend Chris lives in North Carolina. Go see him. I love that I just said that. That's great. Thank you. But yeah,
I'm zoning out again. What are you
just
saying?
I said, fucking, my friend Chris lives in North Carolina. You can go see him. You know, I just invited
Chris.
everyone to go see my friend Chris. I want to
Chris.
get Chris on the podcast. I love Chris. Chris is great.
Yeah, man. Chris is so cool. But
That's
like,
Maxwell's. That's Maxwell's homework assignment. I literally messaged him before this that I wanted Chris to be on the podcast, and I said, "Fucking go talk to him. Go make that happen."
well, I don't know about this Chris character, but I'm here. I'm chilling.
I like Chris
Mm,
more than you.
Man, I wish that like people would message me and not it just not be the group chat every time I check.
Have you tried muting the group chat?
But the problem is everybody's phone is so stupid, so they message and they create another group chat.
That is funny.
So I have like 8 group chats of the same group chat, and it's just different people having like their takes pop up in different group chats.
Yeah. But yeah, I want Chris on the podcast because I wanted to watch a fucking. So his favorite movie is fucking Speed Racer, and I really want to watch Speed Racer, but I want an excuse to rewatch it.
Like the live action Speed Racer.
Yes.
It was alright. I didn't know like this.
So I used to like it. All right, we really need to wrap this shit up.
The show was much better, I think.
These episodes have been getting way too long overall, but he. So I grew up with it. You know, I used to have it in the car. I used to have the video game. You know, I thought it was cool. But I didn't really think anything of it, right? You know, it was just like it's a cool movie, flashy colors, explosions, blah 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 blah. But Chris got on this like YouTube bandwagon where Speed Racer is actually a work of genius, and he made us rewatch it as like preteens, right? I think he was like 15 and I was 13. And we like rewatched it, and genuinely, like I hate being genuine and like earnest and no irony on this podcast, but genuinely it brought me to tears. It's that good of a movie. Holy shit, it's that good. I was like almost 14 years old, and it genuinely brought me to tears of how good it was. Like, wow. Or sorry, I was almost 15. Sorry. I was 14. He must have been like 16. And, yeah. Great fucking film. But I want an excuse to rewatch it, and I want to rewatch it with him because he's like the expert. It's his favorite movie. So I want to watch it with him. But he's great. I love Chris. Chris is like, you know Matt. You love Matt. Everybody loves Matt. Matt from our Top the Table podcast. Everybody loves Matt.
Matt is a character.
He's great, right? You know, he's super wholesome and sweet. I love Lil Matty. Lil Matty is my homie. You know, he's a sweetheart. Chris is as wholesome as Matt, but as chill as Maxwell. Except he's a little bit. I would say maybe he's like 75% as chill as Maxwell. He's nowhere near as amped as I am, but he's you know, a little bit more lively than Maxwell. But he's so sweet. I love him. He's just like a jolly bowl full of jelly. He's like young Santa Claus. He's genuinely one of my favorite people, and I'm sad that we don't talk more. So if we that I'm making it my mission. Before we go to the big red button, I'm going to say I'm making it my mission that Chris will be on this podcast and that our next movie commentary is going to be Speed Racer. Because Chris is a fucking G, and I love him, and I want him to be on this show so bad. Unironically, if you or Max couldn't do this anymore, I would probably pick Chris as my co-host because I love him. I love him so much.
You see, I think that our arrangement that we have going on right now works for me pretty well because the arrangement we had before I feel like caused me a lot of like I would just say irritation with you.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot more chill vibes.
Yeah. I would 100% I would do with Chris every week. Cuz he he used to be like an actual roommate, right? Like Maxwell used to be an actual roommate. He used to be an actual roommate. I think I've probably roommated with him more than just about anyone um who you've met. And everyone you've met, I think I've roomed with them less than I've roomed with Chris, because Chris has just been there super long. But
And you haven't roomed with me, man. You know what I mean?
I
We
know
could, we could, we could do it. We could,
I
we could be,
offered, come up here, I'll give
we
you a
could be
month free, and then you got to pay
roomies.
rent.
I feel like maybe after I graduate, I can move around. I can come visit. Well, actually, probably before I graduate, I'll come visit. But
By the time you graduate, I'll be graduated, and I'll have sold this house. I'm going to fucking
yeah,
Notre Dame after this.
I think, like I said, maybe in winter I'll visit.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
like the earliest, probably.
Big red button. Big red button. Big red button.
Big red
This
button.
episode cannot. This episode's gonna go to fucking 90 minutes. Ah, I hate it.
Hey man, we like talking.
We do. It's the 2-year special. It's the 2-year special. It's the 2-year special. Ha ha
Try to
ha.
justify it.
Big red button. Big red button. Fuck. I. All right. Here's the big red button.
Did you
No,
not prepare this?
I had it. I had it. It's gone. It's
No,
gone.
it's all right. I can use the website that I used before.
No, no, you're not doing that.
bigredbutton.com.
You're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
Would you
No, here's the big red button is.
press? No, wait. Press the button. I got this. Don't worry. Okay.
All right, I have one. Are you ready?
Okay.
We do this for another 2 years, but you have to do it twice a week, every week,
Twice a week?
twice a week, every
No.
week.
Do you have a follow up, or is that like your only big red button? Because that
That's your
seems
big
like
red button. That's your
that
big red
seems
button.
that
When
seems
you
like a
do
very
it.
lackluster one.
I mean, it's twice the pay.
It doesn't pay that much, man.
Hey, hey, you could help with that. You could help
Let
with
me
that.
tell you, if I feel like if the creative for the podcast was a tiny bit different, you know, maybe. Because I feel like the creative of the podcast right now is mostly like 70% you, 30% me. If I had more of a share in like the creative part of this podcast,
Oh God, I've been
you
begging
know,
for other people to bring shit up other than me. Fuck,
then
man.
then I would maybe consider it. But I feel like every time I try to talk or say something that I like, you just cut me off and say, "Oh, that shit's boring," and let me talk about what I want.
I
And I'm
mean,
not
you do
about
try to
that.
talk about anime. You do try to talk about anime.
I'm not about that, Nick.
You do.
I'm about, saying what I want to say, and you're about trying to say what you want to say, and that's why I can't do this that often because you piss me off if we do this every week and I never get to talk.
I gave you 2 minutes to recommend a book. You could not recommend a single book.
Why did you put me on the spot? That was not
Because you
planned.
said how badly you wanted that. You said how badly you
No,
wanted that section.
the rec it's supposed to be rec of the week. You're supposed to do one every week, and it should be whatever you see out in the wild during that week.
Danny,
Whether it
it's
be a
been 2
movie
years
or
and
a
I didn't
show
let you
or
recommend
a book,
anything.
right? I know I had 2 years worth of things to think about, and I only had 2 minutes.
I
That
said one book.
if I only had a week's worth of things to think about, I could have figured this out. I only read like I only read like one book this week, Nick.
I feel like that doesn't.
You know,
That
I
isn't
feel like
like. I had one that I haven't even touched this week,
first
and I
look,
didn't even get
Nick,
to say it.
I'm not
Furthermore,
I'm not gonna lie to you, Nick. I'm reading books at a pretty quick pace compared to how I used to be back in the day. But at the same time, I'm not a very fast reader. I just have tons of time to kill at work, and I'm not working all that time. So I'm doing my book,
here,
getting
recommend
paid
a
to
book.
read.
Recommend a book, and I'll recommend my book. Okay, fucking hurry up, and then we'll
All right.
close
Well,
this out.
I've been reading this duology. It's not really like a sequel, but the two companion books. It's If He Had Been With Me, and the companion book is called If Only I Had Told Her. and I think they're a pretty good little story. I definitely recommend them.
Why
I
are
don't
you
want to
reading
spoil.
romance novels?
No, they're not romance. Well, they're not really. I guess they're kind of romance novels, but not really, because
This sounds
they're
like
like
some Nicholas Sparks shit.
no. There's almost no smut in there. There's like a tiny bit of smut, like a little tiny bit. But there's well,
I
actually,
wasn't talking about love. I didn't. I wasn't talking
well,
about
actually, you know what? It's not
smut
even really
novels.
smut because I suppose you could call it smut, but it's like very non-descriptive smut. Because
Did they say like his big throbbing member? Do they use the word member at any point?
No, actually, this book I feel like has done a really good job of like including like a smut scene without making it too graphic with the types of words that they use. It's very tame word usage, I would say.
So they don't say the
Uh,
word member.
they don't say a lot of words. They don't really get into like the specifics too much.
Phallus.
It's more about how the characters feel in that moment than it is about what they're doing in that moment, which I appreciate because I'm
Do
not
they
about
feel
that
his
type of.
large throbbing member?
No, but let me tell you, Jennifer did recommend me a book, and let me tell you, like the book was 90% flirting and like 10% smut, and I was like, I don't know why
That's
you thought
what
I would
women
like this.
like. That's what women like. They like the build up. It's all tension, 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 tension. It's
I hated
context.
it. I
They
hated it
fucking
so
they
much.
jack off more to the context than they do the actual fucking smut.
I
They
don't know, man.
fucking
Like
love jacking off to context, man. It's
out of
crazy.
all the books that I've read this year since January, that was probably one I liked the least. But like I said, the two books I just recommended, I really like. It's a nice, bittersweet story. More sad than sweet, but hey, yes, us. We like sad books out here. Um,
Hmm.
Actually, every single book I've read, except for that one smutty book, has had a sad ending. I'm
I
just a
feel
sucker
like
for a sad ending.
is this more? So you're saying that these are all like the ones that you've read since January, or are these the ones with the sad endings? Are these the ones that you've read since you started reading again?
No, these are the ones I've read since January. Every single book I've read. Hey, do you know what book my mom was in the process of reading? That she never finished reading. It
Yeah.
was it was that book that I recommended earlier. They both die at the end. That's the one that she was in the middle of reading.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, so she liked it. She thought it was pretty good. She didn't finish it, but she thought it was pretty good what she read.
All right. So you've gotten to
Uh,
recommend 3 books in this period. You know that, right?
well, it's like a duology. So I feel like I can't recommend one without the other because I just finished one of the books today. Actually, I just finished the second book in the duology today, and I
Did
think
they
that it was
die?
a nice little story. Well, one of them died. I don't want to
Wow!
spoil
Fucking
it.
spoilers, asshole.
I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's heavily implied in the titles that something bad happens, and I feel like there's only so many bad things that could happen, right? Um,
Uh, their dick. One of their dicks falls off and like walks away. That'd be
no,
pretty
I feel
bad.
like the title is "If He Had Been With Me," and if only I had told her. It's like, yeah, something bad's gonna happen, right? I feel like It's not like that's not a spoiler.
Okay. Can I
Maybe the
recommend my book
specific
now?
bad thing that is kind of a spoiler. Yeah, yeah, sure. What's your thing?
Um. So it's the first book in a series. It's probably a series that's probably. I don't think it's gonna be finished. I'm gonna be honest with you. And
Berserk. Yeah, it's not gonna be
no,
finished.
no, it's not Japanese hentai bullshit.
First,
Not to disrespect my boy Samuel L. Jackson, but I don't fuck with that hentai bullshit. Um,
what?
yes, he did admit in an interview that he watches anime and hentai too.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. fucking Mace Windu, fucking Jules, fucking the guy from Jurassic Park, Jackson, likes hentai. Yes, I cannot unsee that and unhear that. But um, it's fantasy. It's got a pretty fun magic system. I think I really like it. Um, but it's very very long. It is fucking thick. This book is like I've seen people with wrists thinner than this book, right? It's huge. Um It's called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it so much. It is one of my favorite books ever of all time. My friend Andrew put me on it. Thanks, Andrew. And I borrowed it from somebody's classroom, and I forgot to return it. So, thank you. I forget who I stole it from, but yeah. And it's so good. It is genuinely one of my favorite books. I recommend it to everyone I know who reads fiction. So, go read Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. It's so good. Danny, I will buy you a copy if you'll read it at work tomorrow.
I just finished my book and I was about to start a new one, but I guess I could.
You'll be on this one for a while, Danny.
How long is it? Because the book I
I
just
told you
finished-
it's thicker than some adults' wrists are not as thick as this book.
Well, my wrists aren't that thick. I don't think.
Do you read on a Kindle or do you read on like hardcover?
You know aren't allowed to have phones on the floor. It's all hardcover, soft cover. You know we don't.
Okay, hard copy. I will. Let me see if I can't same day delivery that shit.
Like, see, because the two books I just finished the two books I recommended that I just finished reading were about. One was I think $350 and the other one was like $390.
Oh, I think it's probably double that. I think it's longer than both of those put together, actually.
The one I was about to start reading was like $290. It's a little bit of a shorter one.
Fucking Christ! Do you want a paperback?
I'm fine with paperback. Most of my books are paperback anyways.
That's the wrong cover. I don't like that cover.
Oh no.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. 722 pages.
722. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of started reading the other book, but I guess I can put a pause to that and read your book.
It's the greatest book of all time.
Or I could put it in the queue and I could finish the book.
No, it's the greatest book of all time.
But the book is only 290
No, it's the
pages.
greatest book of all
It would
time.
probably be so much quicker to finish.
I don't care. I don't care.
I guess, man.
You know, we'll talk about this after. We need to end the episode. Everybody, go read whatever two books it was you said. Say the names again.
It was If He Had Been With Me and If Only I Had Told Her.
What are the authors?
It's Laura Nowlin.
Okay. And my book, which is way better and kicks those books' ass, is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. It's really good.
Cool.
It's in a series so good that he can't even be bothered to finish it. That's how good this series is.
Yeah, I forgot it's a series. That means
The second book, I would say, I haven't read it yet.
The first book is 700 pages, and there's more than one. Like,
there's also, I think there's also like a novella in the same universe with one of the characters as well.
I'm gonna read this book, and I hope
amazing.
that I'm not going to be left on some stupid cliffhanger because I don't
Oh,
know.
there is a cliffhanger in the second book.
Oh my god!
He has not resolved this cliffhanger in years, dude. Just context before we end the episode. Yeah, he hasn't put out. The third book has been coming and like in the pipeline since fucking for 13 years.
I'm sure it's gonna come out soon. You know, it's
gonna
come out as soon as Silk Song comes out. Don't worry.
There was a 4-year gap between the first and second books, and he has written. There was a short story, novella, another novella, and then another novella that came out at the end of last year. And man, he's been working on this shit for years. I can't wait for it to come out. Holy shit. But also I feel like it's after 13 years of hype. And I know that me saying this isn't going to make him do it any faster. It's probably going to make him even slower. But I feel like after 13 years, you know, the hype is way too high. Like, I don't know how he's going to top. First of all, I don't know how he's going to top the first book. I haven't read the second book, but the first book is amazing. It's so good. It's so good.
I probably won't read the second book until the series is finished because I don't want to get too invested in the second book and then be
No,
sad.
but you have so many novellas to read in between. So many
I
novellas that aren't the
I don't-
fucking last book in the series, Patrick.
I feel like I'm already sad that I agreed to read the first book, knowing that I'm not gonna get a nice conclusion.
Yeah. All right. Give me your address after, and I'll send it to you. But
Sure.
my name is my name is not ready yet because we need to tag our socials. Patrons, thank you, Justin Connor, for your continued support. We're
Thank you,
coming up on
Justin
2
Connor.
years of support for you. There's 2 years of this show, and there's 2 years of your support. Thank you,
Justin Connor, a real one out here.
Justin Connor. Woo woo. But yeah,
Woo.
thank you again for the support. We really appreciate it. If you want a cool shout out like that, patreon.com/IIHS podcast, all one word. We have early access for part 1, so the part up until the ad break. That's available to all our paid members, including our $3 tier, who also get a shout out. But you get a cooler shout out, and you get to listen to the whole episode without the ad break early, and you get access to all of our movie commentaries, including the fucking Speed Racer one that I promise we're going to do. I promise. I swear to God. We're going to get Chris on this fucking show, and we're going to watch goddamn Speed
that would
Racer.
be great.
It's going to be
Oh,
amazing.
We should do another movie commentary. Like, you got anything in the works? You can
Yes!
tease.
It's just Speed Racer. That's the
Just
only
Speed-
thing I can
that's-
focus on now.
That's the only thing you can tease. All right. Well, it's
I
Speed
said,
Racer, guys.
that's the next one. That's the next one. And so we
Wow.
will wait forever until I can get that to happen.
All right. Well, let's hope. Let's hope, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'll be next, hopefully very soon. Probably sometime over the summer. We'll have a lot more time to watch movies, me and Maxwell, and probably me and Danny as well.
I tell you, we've just been talking. I'm looking at the time right now.
Shut up. I know. These episodes have been getting longer. It's the 2-year special. Me and Maxwell were both bitching about this in the text messages today. In our text messages today, we were both like, yeah, these episodes have been going way too long, and we're getting paid the same amount. So it's like, But yeah, hopefully when we get on YouTube and we can get monetized on YouTube, we can do that. So go subscribe over to YouTube. On YouTube, Instagram, Threads, not Twitter anymore, but
X.
YouTube, Instagram. No. We don't use it. First of all, it's still Twitter. Second of all, we don't use it.
No, it's definitely X.
Shut up. But Threads, Instagram, YouTube, we are at IIHS Podcast.
Why do we use Threads? I don't know.
Because it's better. It's better than Elon's bullshit. It's not nearly as racist. Oh my god, the racism.
I feel like it adds character.
Man, there's only so much character you can add. Man, that's all I'm gonna say. But
Freedom of speech and whatever, right? That's what he keeps saying.
Shut up. But yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Threads. We are at IIHS Podcast. Again, all one word. Subscribe on YouTube. These episodes go up. Yes. Oh my God, it's gonna go up. It's not over 2 hours, so I can make RSS do it for me. Yes. Oh my God.
All right, guys, let's stall for 10 minutes.
It's Jesus Christ. It is 10 minutes. Fuck. That's all I need to say. My name is Kael. I've been incredibly influential.
My name is Danny, and I've been highly successful.
I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.